And we are now live.
Excellent. So we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Strands on Open for Adventure. The first thing I'd like to say is thanks to the Open for Adventure group and community for letting us stream on these Wednesday nights from 8 Central to 10. So it's a 2-hour stream in which we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and play Dungeons and Dragons, a 5e session, a homebrew, in which we're going to kind of get together and do these wonderful adventures. I am your humble host for this evening and Dungeon Master, Callan McHale. You can find me at Callan McHale, or known as the Positive DM, if you see me in chat. And I will pass it off to my wonderful players. Let's start with you, Carl.
Hi, I'm Carl, and today I am playing Telips Fedariana, the Wood Elf, who is a rogue and a noble.
Who's
Okay.
next?
Yeah. Well, Casey, you spoke up first, so you get to
I did.
to go.
You put your neck out there, it gets... No, I'm just kidding. I'm KCH on social media, and today I am playing Vitrascaith, and it is so lovely to see you all here. Next.
Lily, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lily, and I'm going to be playing Crises, a non-binary, morally ambiguous Fallen Azamar fighter. And you can find me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Just a Little Nerd.
Last but not least, Matt.
I am Matthew, or Matt. Today I'll be playing Miles Incendiar Merriweather Redmond, who is a fire genasi with a bit of a court functionary background. So that is him.
Wonderful. And I'll pass it back to our man in the myth, the legend, Carl. Do you have anything else you want to add before we start?
Yeah. Before we start, I will mention and give special thanks to our sponsors at Campaign Coins. They are great human beings who make really great metal coins and other RPG accessories. You can check them out at campaigncoins.com and on Twitter at campaigncoins. The folks who you are watching today can often be accessed via the Open for Adventure Discord. So if you want to hang out with the community, do so there. Link is in chat. And then lastly, for all the announcements for the channel, just follow us on Twitter. That is Open for Adventure on the Twitters. And that is it.
Wonderful. Okay, so at long last, after many previous months of planning, we are going to begin this wonderful and exciting adventure known as Strands. Like I said, it's a homebrew world of mine, so that's just west of the Waterdeep and Sword Coast. So let's begin. So you've come for an epic story. Welcome, then. I'm not like most bards you've met, for I tell historic tales, most of which never have been told, some different from the ones you are used to. In this tale, the protagonists hardly know each other and hardly know themselves. They are in the Scar Islands, a land not well known most, but yet rich in history, and I have so much to offer for these new listeners. So if you're listening, grab a drink, grab a seat, and get ready, because we're going to start telling a story about how these fate strands begin. As we see, he begins to cast prestidigitation and thaumaturgy and begins to give himself kind of this, regular narrator voice, mine, in which he's going to then start to paint you the picture. In Faerun, far west of Waterdeep, an eerie wind gains speed upon the trackless sea and flies into the Scar Islands. Upon the horizon on this dawn, we see the kingdom of Aranoth, and shines its capital, Heaven's Crest. A city of wonder catches the wind as 10 plateaus sit around the Bay of Blood like a sleeping lover. Sails of the royal fleet litter the bay amongst the merchant ships as the wind rushes upwards and it passes the obsidian towers of the Church of the Mountain Mother upon the 5th plateau. She stands, as always, in her black shimmer, hammering down into the world of Toril to depict the molding of the land. The Mountain Mother has always loved and protected Heaven's Crest, and its people will never forget. Devout worshippers huddle en masse to enter the doors for its morning services. Other citizens and travelers here make their way into the churches of their patron deities. The wind passes the shimmering air of Shardazar, the fourth plateau of Crest. This realm is an epitome of fashion and beauty. Its unique tie to the Fey realm yields beautiful marbled buildings combined with an array of colorful flowers and trees. A traveler could spend hours getting lost in the streets, admiring the mysterious statues and the spectacular architecture. Finally, it catches the wind of the soaring King's Eagle above the first plateau. In its eyes, it views the two massive doors of the King's throne room, bearing carved statues of forgotten dwarven lords. One of many reminders that this land has a long history forgotten before even King Maliandros even settled here. The eagle dives towards the bay at lightning speed. Flurry of golden brown feathers blur like an arrow seeking its target. For a second, it peers past the seventh stone tower of the sanctum that sits on the seventh plateau known as Arcanus. With a splash of water, it rips a fish from the red bay and flaps towards a safe haven. Landing on the roof of a smoldering building, the predator looks around to ensure it's safe to feast on its kill. The smell of charred wood wafts through the air, paying a reminder to the fire of the previous night in an unfortunate city. A block of Bayside. Looking down, it gazes for a time at two people below who are talking about their day's plans, and notices the horned creature is presenting no threat, and the eagle begins to eat its catch. The streets are already filled with people moving about their day, heading to work or grabbing a quick breakfast before they start on whatever tasks they have. But here, it's the two-eagled watched that we begin our tale with. Not for any foreshadowing, but these two are important to our story. So let us see what they are doing and where they will take us. So, Casey, go ahead and introduce your character for us.
Oh, there is an averagely heighted moon elf, but you wouldn't know that she was a moon elf. You might guess that she was a tiefling. And this is due to the fact that she has these segmented bone-colored horns protruding from the sides of her temple and curving down and around towards her mouth. She doesn't have a tail, though, and that's kind of the dead giveaway. She has bright acid-colored eyes, and she holds herself tall and proud, and her steps are actually not that graceful.
Okay, Lily, go ahead and describe your character for us.
And walking along beside her with their hands in their pockets, imagine an anime boy, but more ambiguously gendered, with silvery hair and sort of silver eyes, silvery blue, and Azamar, so like incredibly, ridiculously, stunningly beautiful, but like with that nonchalance of like, I know I'm beautiful and I don't want to look at you, but you should look at me. Kind of that David Bowie vibe, wearing a very, very low cut shirt, like none of the buttons are done up basically. And yeah, thin, probably around 6'2", and broody.
Okay, so as that charred wood seems to waft into you guys' noses, some guards start to clear the area from the fire in the evening. They say, all right, make your way this way, and they kind of start to push you towards the other side of the street so that you're not walking towards the clearing zone.
If anyone touches me, I'm just going to look at them really hard. And if anyone touches my friend, I'm going to say not to do that. But does anyone actually touch us after I look at them real hard?
No, after the first gaze and then the scowl that you give, the guard says, all right, just please make your way to the other side. There's no need for the looks.
I look over at Horns and I'm like, this place around here, they always this handsy with people.
I wouldn't know. I've only been here for 3 days.
Huh. I might have been here before. Smells kind of familiar.
Excuse me. Guard person.
Yes, miss?
Where can I find an artist?
What kind of artist?
The real kind. The ones who draw on pieces of paper.
Oh, like a painter? Do you want a sketch artist? Are you trying to report a crime? If you're trying to report a crime, we can tell you, You can go up to the god shack and get one of the sketch artists there to do something for you.
No. I just want an artist.
Oh, right then. If you go down about 3 blocks to the left, and then you take a left on King Street, you'll see an alleyway called Artist Alley. If you go down there, obviously you'll see all the banners and the things for all array of artists.
Did you get that?
Yeah, King Street. It's called Artist Alley. Real creative. Shouldn't be hard to forget.
Lead the way.
I got you, Horns.
My name is Vitrascape. Please use my name.
You got it, boss. Shall we go?
That'll work too.
As you two pass through the bustled streets that are much more tightly knit here down on the 10th. The streets are much more narrow. People are passing through, trying not to bump, but it's almost impossible after a couple of days of being here. You're familiar with the fact that you're going to have to bustle and muscle through, very similar to like a modern day New York City. As you pass through, you do get to what seems to be King Street, and you see on the corner there is a gentleman that's sitting there, downtrodden, mange-filled, and black. It could be that he had blonde hair at one time, but it's so dirty it may be black. And he reaches his hand out with a cup, and he says, "Alms, man, alms," as he reaches to the elf.
I ignore him. I just keep walking.
Are we at Artist Alley already, or is this on King Street?
This is on King Street.
Okay. Yeah, I look at him, and I see that boss has kept walking, and I'll just look down at him and say, maybe you should try and paint something on paper sometime. That seems to be the kind of thing she's interested to spend money on. But have a nice day, sir. And I'll follow after.
Who said anything about spending any money?
Oh, my mistake. I guess I'll just follow along and see how you get this painting of yourself with no money.
As you pass through the King Street, you see tons of beautiful architecture. King Street's one of the largest streets in Heaven's Crest. It's basically the way to the gate. There's only one gate on the west side, and this is basically the main road through Bayside. As you continue down King Street for probably a mile or so, you start to see taverns and brothels. Everything that you can imagine that you would ever expect out of a smaller city is pretty much just already decked out on this area. So you start to make your way, and then you see there's a street sign that says Artist Alley on the corner of one of the buildings.
There's a street sign that says Artist Alley on the corner of one of those buildings. Think that's where we need to go. Agreed. I got you, boss.
You're doing great.
As you turn, you're barraged with color as you see nothing but strings and strands of purples and golds and greens and blues, blacks and reds, as the banners and dyes are hanging from basically this very, very covered alleyway. It's got a array of small shops, stalls, and anything that anybody would call an artist, from jewelers to crafts makers to woodworkers to painters. You could see all these different symbols. Each symbol is unique in its way. So a jeweler has like a set of rings with an amulet between. A painter would have some kind of a brush of some sort. And the colors usually depict the atmosphere that the paintings are done in. So as you continue to walk through and you look into these rooms and these windows and these open kind of secluded corners where you can kind of walk in and see where people are just setting up their art kind of almost on the side of the street. You see an array of things. You start to notice that greens are for landscapes, reds are for people, golds are for like nobility or skilled painters of sorts. You see purples for an array of like equestrian / animal paintings. And then you see every once in a while you see a smattering of blacks, and blacks are much more unique because they are goblin painters. So these are these paintings are always very macabre, very dark. They usually can paint almost anything, but it's always dead, or it's like guts are spilled out everywhere. Some of them are painted in blood, but this is commonly known in the Scar Islands because the goblins are very much interested in the beauty of death and the ugly of what normal people would consider.
This place is an eyesore, but I like that.
I stop like the first artisty person that we see. I imagine there's a bunch of them around, but I'll just stop one of them and I'm like, hey, do you know where we can find a real artist?
The golden-haired woman that you're standing in front of is wearing like a very low-cut and sheared dress with something underneath that kind of fills out the colors. She looks and she says, well, I'm a real artist. How may I help you?
Hey, boss, I found a real artist.
Oh, excellent. I need a painting of a man. A very specific man.
You need a painting of a man. What kind of man would it be?
He was a dark elf, if I remember correctly. I would only need from here to here.
Okay. Do you? I mean, I'm not very fond of doing elven pictures. I mean, does it have to be an elf, or can I paint it to be like a human-esque form?
Crises, let's try someone else.
Artist? She said she was a real artist.
Well, I'm certainly a real artist. How would you say that? This is, she points to her, multiple paintings that are all of, actually high-level skill. As you're standing in front of basically a golden bannered, brush. She goes, I paint plenty of beautiful things, right? And she even hands you like a picture of one of the kings of the Sun Keep, and she says, this is one of the kings of the Sun Keep. He's an elf. I
don't care. The thing is that your talents are a dime a dozen. A copper a dozen on this block. We can go elsewhere.
A copper a dozen? How dare you? Please leave my stall. And she sets the piece back.
I shout out, hey, anyone here a real artist that can draw a dark elf? Someone who actually has multiple talents and doesn't just do one thing.
You see a bunch of people like stand up and perk their ears at a real artist as if it looks like somebody's being ridiculous enough to say that they want commissions. And then, you feel the hunger of the eyes as they all shift to you as these artists all get excited. And then you say something about dark elves and, the style that you want. And a couple of them back away and you see an older man. He's got the gray beard, the friar tuck kind of style hairdo. And he comes up to you in a brown robe. And he's got what looks like some kind of sculpting residue on his hands, like clay of some sort. And he goes, miss, if you are looking for an artist, as he looks at the elven character and goes, I can point you to a pretty decent painter just down the way that can paint something your style. As he looks at you, being you're dressed with your horns, characterizing your entire face.
Where does he live? Like Painter's Promenade?
No, he's just down the way, about another 500 feet. You'll see him. His name's Glip, and he's got one of the black signs on the left side.
I leave without thanking him.
I nod at him.
Have a nice day. And he carries back to his, shop he was walking towards.
I follow close behind the boss, hands in pocket, looking around, seeing if anyone looks sketchy or too close to us, but staying, about 5-7 feet back, not really walking together.
Okay. Eventually you start to make your way. You see a lot of artists are looking at both of you as interest. Go ahead and both of you roll me a perception check.
Ooh, it's a good first roll of the game. It's a 5 + 1 for a 6.
Got a 4.
So with all the artists staring at you guys, and you're just looking at each other and trying to make your way through this barrage of colors, which one of you seems disinterested in, the other is repulsed by. You kind of are just so distracted by this that you don't really notice anything peculiar going on, but you do feel like you're being stared at, and it is kind of almost in that awkward, like, rude staring where people are definitely picking you out of the crowd of people shuffling through here, because there's plenty of people walking through here and ordering art or picking up art or doing an array of business.
I hold my bag closely.
Okay. Okay. As you get closer to this black, the sign, you do see this workshop that he was talking about, and it is on the left side there, and it's got an array of smattering of paintings. Everything in the window is pretty much of some corpse of some creature eating another human-esque person.
Look like real art to you, boss?
It does, and it makes me very hungry.
Maybe we'll see if you got something to eat.
GIF? Gab? Gap?
It's glib, miss. And
Glib.
he opens the door to the half stall that he's got. He opens it up and you see two large green ears poking out. He's got kind of like a greenish black complexion. Very, very, very ugly by goblin standards. He's definitely got, all the wrinkles in the wrong places, scars all over himself. He's got an arm, but it's not goblin. It's like partially maybe a halfling's arm. This is not common from goblin folk who have learned over years to do surgery and reattach parts as necessary. So it works. It seems to work fine. And he's staring up at you, and then he goes, "What can I do for you?"
I hold my hand out.
He takes it and kind of wiggles it back and forth.
Whatever. Gaff, we need a drawing done, preferably in color.
It's glib, and color. What colors do you like? I prefer usually black and white, but I can do reds and maybe some browns and some really dark greens, maybe.
Black and white.
A kindergarten class
could work. I am seeking an artist to draw a picture of a man from my memory, from about here to here. And he is a dark elf, and for some reason that puts everyone here off.
Well, it's not very... dark elves are just very, they're difficult to draw because, the complexion is difficult to pull out of the paper. But I could certainly draw you a dark elf. You said you have some requirements. What kind of requirements do you have?
He was wearing a cloak.
Pulls out a pen and starts writing some things down on parchment.
And when he dropped the hood back, he had long, I believe it was silver hair, a little bit shorter than mine.
Okay.
About to there. High cheekbones, elfy. They do all sort of look alike.
You may be the least descriptive person for... Aren't you an elf? Shouldn't you know, the differences between elves?
I'm not an elf.
He kind of double looks at you and is like, huh?
Listen, ears. The lady said what she needed. Now, if you're a real artist, you'll put that down on paper or parchment or canvas or whatever it is you're using here.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll be on our way.
All right, calm down. Don't need to. I'm interested, but I don't want to draw some dark elf. Essentially,
how about this? You start. And I will lean over your shoulder and tell you what you need to fix when you need to fix it.
Okay. Do you know how long paintings take?
No.
Okay. I can maybe have the painting done in about a 10-day if you give me enough time and discretion.
Gods!
Boss, I'm not standing here for 10 days. That's
Nor
crazy.
am I.
Right, I mean, most people don't stand here. You give me, what you want, or if you have, a picture of something already kind of sketched out, I can bring it to life. If you have some blood, I can definitely use spell work to see what he looked like.
All right, back up. What I'm telling you of my plan, it does not involve paints. I have seen people using sticks to make rudimentary initial illustrations of things. Surely you can do the same in less than a 10-day.
I mean, I can make a quick sketch. It'd take me about 10 minutes, but...
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want it in color?
Well, you get the sketch done first, and then you can go over it with color. Is that agreeable?
I mean,
How many colors does a dark elf really have, anyways?
I mean, goodness gracious, there's like 40 hues of black. What are you talking about? There's black, there's grays, there's dark black, there's light black.
Hey, why don't you just start sketching and we'll worry about the colors after that, like the lady said.
Okay. And he kind of waddles his way back to his little chair that he's got. It's got like a wooden slab that you can paint on that's angled at about a 45 degree. And it's got all arrays of blacks, and it looks like somebody just basically painted this thing in black for somebody who doesn't have a keen eye, but it's got, of course, hundreds of different colors of shades, black and reds. And he goes, okay, so cloak, hair, silver hair down to here, and high cheekbones as dark elf. Any other
and pointy
details?
ears, like mine.
Right. All elves have pointy ears. Unless he didn't, and then that would be a great detail. I could usually do something with that.
He was wearing a brooch.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it, but and I'll just take some of his materials and use my nail, my sharpened nail, to sketch something out on the wall.
Okay. Okay. So it looks like that.
Mostly that I can remember.
Okay. Right. Did he? Elves usually have a name that kind of makes them look kind of what they look like. Did he have a name of some sort that I could kind of derive inspiration off?
He did not give his name.
Okay. You met? Is this a friend of yours? I don't want to insult you if I draw it and I don't finish it quite the way you're picturing because it's a friend of yours or something. I mean, I can't imagine it's a friend if you don't know what they look like, but...
Artists are a real pain in the ass, boss? And I'll just start wandering around the workshop.
I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass, you overgrown oaf. I'm trying to understand here what she's trying to tell me, and you gave me 3 details that's every dark elf in existence, except he's got a cloak and a brooch.
Watch your mouth!
Ooh. There's no need for all the hizzy. I'm just trying to say I don't want you to be angry with what I draw when I'm done with it because you're mad because you didn't give me any details.
It is an enemy.
She gave you 3 details.
Fine. And he just turns around in his frustration and starts sketching. Right. Do you guys do anything? He's sketching for about 10 minutes. Do you guys?
I'll be over his shoulder, telling him, that little bit pointier there, a little bit higher there.
Okay.
If I may interrupt very quickly, just wanted a quick thanks to MK in chat for cheering 1,000 bits. That is advantage to each one of the players. Thank you, MK.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to be walking around the workshop and just picking stuff up and looking at it and putting it down, especially stuff that looks like it's not supposed to be touched.
Every once in a while, if you make some noise, his very large ears catch. Don't touch that. Just leave that there. Everything's
pipe down ears.
Everything's in its don't worry about chaos. Everything's got to have its place.
Yeah. I'm putting it back in its place. Don't worry about that, ears. You just get to your painting.
Okay. You're very big. And they continue. He continues to drop. As he's drawing, he's asking some questions. So he asks, he says, Miss, who should I make this out to when we do the transaction? What's your name, Miss?
Vitruscaith.
Vitruscaith? That's unique. Do you have a surname, Miss Vitruscaith?
No. My name is Vitruscaith. You will use it.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Oh, that's not good.
Are you kidding me? I got a 6.
Oh, you got
Ah!
you got better than I did. I got a 2. So you hear him mumble just barely under his breath. You think you hear something about like Vitruskaith the Rude, right? As he's like drawing, something as he's trying to give you some surname of some sort. And he about 5-10 minutes later, he's got something that is a rough sketch, done in basically some kind of like metal. It's like basically a version of graphite, and he's drawn it, and it's this character with hair, and it looks like pretty much a standard dark elf slash. His looks more drow because you said it was an enemy, so he just kind of assumed it was drow because dark elves are pretty friendly in this region. And considering that most of them are from Melbourne.
Guidance, just hovering over his shoulder, does it actually look like the quarry?
Yeah, so you get something that's it's still a rough picture though, because it's only been about 10 minutes. You get something that looks like it's got some features that are unique. And as you kind of describe more, you remember like a scar here or a small little nick there, as you're like, no, it had this nick, and he's, you're helping him flesh out details that are not necessarily, strongly noticeable, but something that gives it character.
His eyes were beadier.
right. And so he's got some collection of, it looks kind of like the character that you think it is, but it's uniquely how you perceived the character, not necessarily the truest form of what it would look like to anybody else. Very beady eyes, very, very weak looking, and looks like an obnoxious elf.
Did he get the brooch right?
He did get the brooch right. So there is a brooch that connects the collar, and he got it pretty close to what you remember it as.
Fair enough.
Okay. So
you do a good job, boss.
I think so.
Is this good enough for what you're looking for?
I think so.
Okay. So I guess I can just paint this then, and in about 10 days I'll send it to you. I guess.
I'll just take this. Thanks.
He holds it. He's like, if you want to purchase this one, I guess.
Can I use a sorcery point to use prestidigitation without verbal or somatic components to loosen the tie on his belt so that his pants fall down?
Yes, you can. Okay, so you go ahead and do that. Let's since it doesn't have any, it's just somatic, right? So you don't have any, it doesn't have any material components.
Well, yeah. It's verbal and somatic, no material.
Okay, so yeah. So he doesn't see anything. You just kind of look at him and his belt drops. And he's standing there now, with his pants down. And, oh goodness! And he reaches down.
And as he lets go to grab his pants, I'm gonna snatch it.
Okay, you successfully snatch the thing. Are you guys, I guess, making your way out of the stall that he's got, the small stall?
Yeah, I'm basically just gonna be like, thanks, bye.
He kind of grabs his stuff. Are you following, I guess, then, Crises?
Yeah, so we're watching to make sure that there's no pursuit.
Okay, so what happens is he gets his belt on and he runs out to and he's got it half tying it together, his roped belt, and he's tying it together, and he's got these brown saggy pants that are now getting readjusted, and he goes, wait, the horned one, she stole a piece of art. And then you see all the artists look over, and you see two guards that are kind of nearby in one of the stalls, just kind of chatting up what looks like a more attractive human that they're trying to maybe court. They turn around and they go, hey, you, stop there.
So I'm picturing that I'm not quite left the stall yet. So I'm just going to real quick take 2 steps back, look for maybe a really expensive looking painting that's completed. You said that there were a number of paintings around, yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to stand next to one. I'm going to look down at it glib, and I'm just going to be like, listen up, ears. I got a dagger in my hand right behind this canvas, and you could call off those guards, or I could slash this, and then we're all going to have a problem. And I'd like to do, yeah.
Yeah, roll intimidation.
Sweet. I do that, and it is an 18.
So, natural 20. So, he looks at you, and he looks at his hand that he's got, that's the halfling hand that he's got, and he's like, I've been stabbed, I've had my parts cut off, I'm not scared of you, give me my damn money! Right, and he pulls out what looks like a small, it's a dagger, but it's more like a dirk, it's very tiny, and he's, give me my damn money! And he kind of, not pokes it into you, but, tries to...
You never said that we were to pay for a sketch. He never said that. There was no contractual obligation.
The guards are slowly making their way to you, and they're like, all right, everybody get together. What's going on here? And they're backing away. One guard's like backing some onlookers away, and you see a lot of people with stuff, drawing pictures, and they're like, what's going on here? What's the communication issue here? Right? Did you pay the man for his art or not?
He never asked us to. He just started drawing it. Said he would do the sketch, and then he said he'd have the painting done in a 10-day. I never heard anything about money.
Right.
Nor is this a painting.
He looks at the rough sketches you got in your hands. He looks at the goblin and he says, "All right. Did you tell him it was free?" And he's like, "No, I didn't tell him it was free. They told me to draw it, and they was gonna maybe talk about colors and things. And I was doing it for a sketch, and then she took off with it after my pants fell down." And they're like, all right.
He was handing it to me.
All right, we're gonna make this easy, right? Clearly he drew it, and he was planning on you paying him. So give him what's owed, or just return the picture then, and then we're done with this. This is easy. This isn't something that we need to do anything get brash about. So either give him the art back or pay him what he's due. And he goes, it's 2 silver pieces.
I don't remember owing him anything because he never told us we owed him anything. The only thing he told us was that we were going to talk about colors afterwards, and we saved him from doing the 10-day painting.
And why
Seems
are you
like a
taking
pretty
his
good
word
deal to
over
me.
ours? I feel this is very unfair.
It's not that we're not trying to take anybody's word over anybody else's. We're just simply stating that he performed a service. He didn't state that there was going to be free, clearly. You assumed it was free. It was not free, so we can come to 2 simple conclusions. You can either give him his art back, and he can keep it, because he did perform the work, or you can buy the art from him. It's very simple around here.
Callan, are there any kind of checks that I could be making to put the guards in my favor? I have attempted to persuade and deceive.
Yeah, you can try to make like a deception check to see if there's maybe something you can tell them that kind of gets them more on your side if you'd like to.
More than we were never told that we had to pay for this?
Right, because they're convinced that you probably haven't. They don't disbelieve you. They just think, okay, you clearly are a foreign traveler. They think you're a foreign traveler, so you don't understand maybe that it's not free, even though it didn't, because it's not free just because he didn't talk about charging, right? So it's they see it as more as you basically, you must be foreign and not understand. Considering that your appearance, they kind of just assume that you may not be a city resident.
I think I'm going to end this because I'm tired of it. I will simply reach into my bag, pull out 2 coppers, toss it in way, and then I will pull out a small black notebook and write down Glib.
He catches the two copper pieces, and then he looks down at them, and he goes, "Fine, whatever." And he walks off. Waste of 10 minutes of my time. See if I draw an elf something else next time. That's why I don't even like elves. So obnoxious.
I'm not an elf!
My mother told me not to even come to the city. Why did I even do this? As he walks into, his artist shop.
I turn to the guards and I'm like, "Artists, am I right? Drama."
And the artist just look and they go, "Look, sorry. I mean, it's just we got to do the best we can. It seems you got a deal." So, and then they kind of migrate their way away. As long as you guys don't have anything else, that seems to be an issue.
Got you drawn, boss?
I do.
What next?
Next, we show this to places where there are people full of magic.
You got it.
Where is that?
Well, hey, anyone know where there's places full of people full of magic around here?
Out in the corner of a black stall is Glib, who goes, I don't know, somewhere up your ass. That's where it's at. And then you hear a couple people cackle, and one man is pointing up to the
I'll
center.
take his pants down again in public for that.
You hear him, he looks down, oh dear! He says, damn
Walk
this belt! And you see him rip the belt off and go and try to, looks like he's trying to find some other kind of rope that he can use because the rope's not staying. But you do see one man pointing up towards the 7 spires that are kind of in an angle here, that you can see on the 7th plateau, and he goes, there, duh.
Sweet. Looks like we're headed that way, boss.
What was your name? Kind sir?
Crises.
No, this one.
No.
Remember
Me?
your name.
Me, and he looks over, just a glance at Glib's shop and goes, Jimmy!
Jimmy. Artist Sally.
Carry on then. And he turns around and walks off in a different direction quickly. And so there you are standing in the middle of Artist Alley. Many people staring at you at this point because you have become quite an interesting topic of discussion.
All right,
Can I walk by and see any of the sketches that they did of us?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
13.
13. Okay, you see one that looks like it's basically of a weird artistic version of colors and stuff, and you're like, okay, I don't get this. This is weird. And then you see another one that's it's one of Vitruscase that is kind of capturing her and her face. It's got horns and the tattoos and her kind of demeanor.
All right. Artists make no sense to me. Sometimes you have to pay them, and sometimes they just pull out stuff and draw you for no goddamn reason. But interesting.
I don't understand any of these people.
Nope.
For the record, I don't understand you either.
Not much to understand. That's all right, though. Hey, and I'll go to the one that had the one of me with all the colors and whatever, and I'm just like, hey, you a real artist? Do you consider yourself a real artist?
This is a middle-aged man. He's got a nice goatee going on. He looks pretty well. He goes, I think, ma'am, that we all consider ourselves real artists here. You don't get onto Artist Alley if you're shit.
Oh, well, I'm here, and I'm certainly no artist.
Well, right, but you're not on Artist Alley. You're just walking through it, right? If you had a shop here, I would assume you're pretty damn good.
All right. How much for that painting you just did of me?
This one? Well, when I'm
Yeah.
done with it, it'd be 40 gold.
How about for right now? Wait, you're just gonna use my image and profit off of it without my consent?
Well, as you can see, this is an interpretation of your image, and although it has the grey hues and the soft pales of your skin, it's, more telling the story of how, 2 young maidens bothered... are you a maiden, mister?
Does it really matter? I mean, it's
see-
just a bunch
see-
of colorful blobs on your paper right now.
Right. See, you get it. It's so different from everything else, and it's just encapsulating, and it's going to describe the story of trials and tribulations on the streets of art.
Huh. Is it gonna take you 10 days to paint that?
Oh dear Lord, no. I can paint it at probably 2 if you'd like it. Like I said, 40 gold if I'm finished.
Maybe I'll swing by here in a couple of days. And I look down at the paper with kind of this blank expression. I'm like, I like it.
Your praise is worth 1,000 kings' honors. Thank you, my lady. Sir.
Sure.
Ma'am.
Whatever you like. And I'll just keep walking.
After we're out of earshot, I'm just going to quietly whisper, when I return to my true form, I'm going to come back to this place and destroy it.
I figured as much, but let me get that painting first.
Fine.
And
So
off we go towards the spires.
So as you make your way up towards the spires, you hear a very common sound that you're used to, Crises. You hear the classic whistle of a confidant that you've been working with. You look over to the.
Go ahead. But
As I say, you look over to the corner to see, off in the distance near a tavern close to where it starts to take you towards the water edge is Eric standing there. And he gives you one of these looks.
I give him one of these looks. And I just casually walk over there. I'm like, hang on a sec here, boss. This guy's got something for me.
Got something for you? Are you bloody crazy? I'm not got something for you. You got something for me. You were doing a job. You got the damn letter or not?
Yeah, I got it. You got my money or not? That's what you got for me.
I've always got your money. I've given you. What are you talking about? This doesn't even make any sense. Here. And he's like, where's the letter?
I pull it out. I hand it to him.
You're the worst. Give it to me. Here you go. And he hands you like 5 gold at the same time that he's trying to take it from you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. If I was the worst, I wouldn't have gotten the job done. But I did. So don't think you could say that.
You're just currying. It's not like a get-got thing. You're supposed to go there, get it, and then bring it to me. Dear Lord.
I did.
Right.
I just gave it to you.
You are like the sharpest, most usable tool for fighting, and then everything else you're bloody useless. Never mind. I got another job for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Are you bringing your lady friend with you?
I don't know. It depends what the job is.
Well, they said they need some muscle, and they said that, you can bring anybody that you'd like if it helps you.
That's a weird instruction for a job, but all right. I'll talk to her about it.
He kind of like peers over your shoulder at what he's assuming is Vitrascape standing maybe 10 feet away.
What are we doing?
Hey, you want to do a job? It needs muscle. Get money.
Sure.
Hey, you know any magic using people, Eric?
I know plenty. What kind of magic using people do you need?
Hey, boss, come over here.
I do.
All right, so, ma'am, please, what's your name, miss?
Vitrascape.
All right, Miss Vitrascape, please entertain me with some more intelligent conversation. What are you looking for?
A place with people with a lot of magic.
Well, on the 7th Arcanus, obviously you're a traveler here, so Arcanus is the Sanctum of 7. It's got the 7 lead mages, archmages that teach the 7 schools.
Mages, yes.
Right.
Good.
And then there's an array of students and graduates that live here and study magic, and then,
Excellent.
Right. So it's up that way.
Yeah. We were just headed up that way because boss here needs to find a guy. So how about we go and finish that task, and then I'll come back and meet up with you afterwards, see if that job's still available.
They're in the tavern waiting on somebody, so I'm gonna pass it to the next person if you're too damn busy.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you later then. I promised boss we'd go over to those towers, and I'm kind of curious now myself.
It's a pretty hefty job. It's paying 100 gold.
Is that a lot?
Who do we have to kill?
Kill? Jesus Christ! Oh, by the mountain, mother. Jesus, I don't. Okay, so you don't have to kill anybody. I don't
Alright.
think. I don't think. I think it's just you're trying to find something. They didn't really specify with me. That's not my job. My job in the Thieves Guild is to get people connected with people. This is why I'm Eric, and I know things. I don't try to figure out whose job's what and all this. I just kind of get people jobs. Vitcherskaith, Miss Vitcherskaith, if you would like, I can have you in Crises. Crisis is going to give me a crisis. And maybe meet these two patrons of the tavern, and they can tell you all that you're looking for.
To my companion, I say, we might as well hear them out. We can always refuse the job. 100 is a fair amount.
Sure. After you, boss. And I'll open the door.
Okay. As you're opening the door, Eric is like, remember, it's half up front, like it always is for jobs like this. To tell you, right? And so he's like, you give me the half, I'll give you the half. We split it. That's how it works. As it always works. It's how it always has been. And then he opens, continues to keep the door open as you guys walk through, and you smell the smell of mulled wine and, baked breads and, soft pastries, and then salted pork, because you are on the Saber's Tooth, which is a kind of like a dive bar kind of feel. And he points and he says, up there in the corner, there's the two ones that don't look like they're supposed to be here. And he points over to two people that are sitting in the corner, a man and a very slender and attractive woman. Both look like maybe nobility. And they're sitting there in something that doesn't look like it was made here in Crest, that's for sure. They're in doublets and things that are puffy and, reds and yellows and greens. And they definitely look out of place in a tavern like this. But nobody seems to care.
I'll
This
walk
should
up.
be good.
I'll walk up to the side of the slender woman and lean on the bar and look her up and down and just say, I could eat you up.
Oh, dear. Hello. I'm Cricey. Well, no, I'm not. I kind of am. That's not. And she looks over
Not that
to
common of a name.
she looks over to her brother, and she goes, "You're better at these things. I get confused sometimes with how this works." And he looks and he goes, and he goes, "Sister, hello. My name is Ivan. It's nice to meet you." And he goes to shake your hand. He shakes it in a classic nobility. He takes it, and you kind of are washed over with this warm sensation of this guy seems to know how to respect somebody of your position.
Finally!
And he stands up and he says, Miss, and he kind of leans in to catch her name.
My name is Vitcherskaith.
Oh, Madam Vitcherskaith, please take a seat.
I stand behind her.
Okay. So this table is filled with wines and drinks. It looks like there's already 2 drinks that have been brought for you. And he says, okay, so here's what we're going to do. I have a proposition for you. My name is Ivan, and this is Ivan Snowgate. And this is my sister, Catalina, and we're here looking for somebody. And we're wondering if maybe you have skills to not only find somebody, but, how do you
Kill
say? No, not to kill them. We want them alive. Take them and forcefully.
Uh-huh.
We
I
don't
can do
mind.
force.
We don't mind if you beat her up.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the job and you got the money, I got the force, and I'll get it done.
And
You might say the force is with me.
What is your name?
Crises.
Crises. And the sister looks over and says, very interesting. Crises. That's where I get it from. See, brother, I always get so confused. Nice to meet you. And she leans her hand over to shake your hand.
I nod at the hand.
Oh, this one's a little, uncultured. Interesting. Huh. I don't remember that about you.
Did you need skills and culture? Because what I heard was you needed someone to be forcefully kidnapped.
Well, no, I suppose not. Brother, would you like to continue then? And he goes, sure. Yes. So I guess we'll stick with Vitor Skaith then. Vitor Skaith, we are looking for somebody who can be subtle, but at the same time, can maybe take this person, without any notice.
Are they good at fighting? Are they just people?
This person is she's not good at fight. I mean, fighting is a loose term. She definitely can cast powerful magics.
Powerful. What is powerful to you?
Oh, that's another rough one. What is it'd be better easy to what do you consider powerful?
Transforming a dragon into an elf.
That is quite powerful. Sister Lexington goes, oh, very interesting. This makes more sense to me now. You, I thought I remembered you. Ah. She goes, my name's Catalina. Nice to meet you.
What do you know about me?
She goes to shake her hand.
I'm just looking at it.
And she goes, I know a great many things. Let me shake your hand.
Like what? I kind of like lean forward and kind of take a sniff of her hand.
Her hand smells like it's like the pastry she's been eating. So which is probably sweet apple pastry at this point. So it's got a sweeter apple scent. If you take a deeper sniff, you start to smell sweet apple scent, and then you smell like straight death, like the swamp bog of death. And it's putrid rot that is taking place in some kind of bloated, nasty mess.
Ah! I'll take your hand. Just that's delightful.
She smiles and she goes, "Oh, that's wonderful!" And you have a flash of your former self, and you at this moment realize like you see this memory of like this elf speaking with you, monologuing, and then as she lets go and kind of takes her hand back, you kind of snap back, and it's much more or less a dream and much more like a motion of you for a split second weren't there, and although Crises didn't see anything, you were sitting there the whole time, and she takes her hand back and she goes, this makes more sense. Oh, very interesting. Peter Skaith, I think I'm going to like you.
Catalina, are you a seer?
Oh, I see a great many things, yes.
Is that a power that you provide, or are you a medium for something else?
I've been born with it all my whole life.
So you are a medium.
One could say I'm not a medium. Medium's a loose word. I can just do this.
Very well.
This is my power.
All right, so that job. We're here to talk about a job, right? Did my memory just do that thing again? But
No, you're right. There's
Well,
something strange with Catalina.
And Ivan looks and says, listen. Here's what we'll do. I'll do this for you. I'll give you 100 gold now, so that you can pay 50 to the dude over there, and then you can take the other 50 gold to use however you like. And then when you give me this person, I will pay you a handsome reward.
Yeah.
How does 5,000 platinum sound to you?
sounds like a made-up number. Is that a made-up number, boss?
It is not. It also sounds too good to be true.
Yeah,
Well-
that's what I meant by made-up number.
He says, sister, did I 1,000 platinum then?
How about you show us what we will receive, and then we will begin to think that it is real, factual money and not just imaginary floopy floop.
He like reaches his hand on the table, and inside of the mug that you 100% are sure had liquid in it, he reaches out and pulls out a bag that came from liquid in an empty cup, and then opens up this small black bag that's maybe a coin pouch, and inside you can see what looks like gems, jewels, and open hole full of what looks like just a dragon's hoard of treasure.
Yeah, that doesn't convince me that this is real money, that you just pulled it out of a mug. You know, last week I was at a tavern, I saw a guy pull a rabbit out of a hat. and it didn't impress me much either. So you got something.
Okay. He pulls out like a platinum piece and hands it to you. Is this
Boss,
trustworthy?
can you check that? I don't know what.
I put it in my mouth.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it tastes like platinum. The sweet taste of things you've tasted before.
I will spend a spell slot to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. You see. Did you do that? Are you using sorcery points, or you just kind of just do it?
Just doing it.
Okay. They see you smile. He smiles and he goes, "Well," and you see that he is just blinding and divination magic. She is blinding and divination magic, and the cup is an abjuration magic.
As far as I can tell, this is all very real.
Sure. Whatever you say, boss. If you think they're on the straight edge, I'm with you. If you want to do this job, I'm with you too.
I still have no idea who we're supposed to be kidnapping forcibly.
Also a good point.
Other than they know magic.
Yeah, this girl. So what we'll do is I will here, and he like pulls out of his sleeve basically 2 tickets, and he says, "This is you can meet us here at the theater. We'll tell you more about this person now that you've taken this job, because we're going to go see where she's at, and then see if she's even in the city. If she's not in the city, obviously, you'll have to go find her. But we're trying to locate her right now, so." We were getting more details, but we were trying to line things up. So we need to make sure that you're going to contract for the job, and then we got to make sure that we find her at the same time. We got to do these things all at the same time. There's a lot of things in the future that are uncertain. So.
Yeah, no shit. That's why they call it the future.
Well, some people, whatever.
Whatever.
Catalina looks at you and she says, "Well, worst case scenario, you walk out of here with 100 gold pieces and 2 tickets to a very nice theater show at the Blue Orchid."
Oh yeah, I'm already in. Boss, you in?
Why not?
Can buy a lot of those paintings with 50 gold.
Ah, thank you for reminding me. Have you seen this man? Whip out the portrait.
And she looks at it and she goes, I think I just did, yes. And she kind of waves her hand over it, and it starts to look more like a colored picture at this point. That's like much more accurate. And she goes, "You mean he looks a little more like this, though, right?"
I'm not going to pay you anything.
Now that's a real artist.
She looks over and she goes, "Okay, so if he looks like this, yes, I've seen him before. We can find him later if you'd like, as part of the deal."
Then sign me up.
Okay, so 1,000 platinum pieces and this knowledge
Didn't
of
you
where
say
this
5,000?
one is. Well,
I
you
did hear
complained
5,000.
about that. You did complain about the 5,000. Whatever,
That was not a
5,000.
complaint.
It sounded like a complaint to me, but how I remember it, it sounded like you were
You
complaining.
should get your ears checked.
I don't need my ears. It's all in here. So you have 5,000 platinum pieces, and then knowledge of where this man is. This thing.
And 2 tickets to the nice theater.
Well, right. You have Bitcherskite has those in her hands.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't take them from her. She's got them. Okay. Well. Oh dear.
I'm just making sure the terms are laid out properly, because we just got into some trouble with not having that proper communication ahead of time. So in
right.
exchange for our services of forcibly kidnapping this woman, we are going to receive 5,000 platinum pieces, 100 in advance, and we are also going to find this guy, and we're getting those tickets. That sound about right there, Winkle and Dinkle?
It's Ivan and Catalina, but yes, it sounds good. That sounds fine. I do remember that you did have the issue with the goblin man. So that's fine. We'll see you at the theater later tonight at about 6 p.m.
Does this person that we're targeting have a name or an appearance that we can hone in on?
Last time we saw her, she was elven. She was like a tall, slender elven lady. And she kind of waves her hand over another picture, to give you an idea of her being some beautiful elven woman, slender, very, 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 very slender, like anorexically skinny, right? And she's covered in like a blue dress. And she's like, yes, she looked like this, but I would not show that around.
You should really go down to Artist Alley and set up a shop there. You could be killing it. Those guys are charging 40 gold for something that'll take them 2 days. You could do this in like a second here.
I'm not looking for business right now like that. I mean, but that's good. It's good. I do remember being in Artist Alley. It was nice when we were there. Is there whatever. So yes. Anyways, we'll see you at the theater then. Ivan's like, yes, we'll see you at the theater. Bye-bye now.
Winkle, dinkle, and I will pull the chair out for my boss.
Stand up, nod, leave.
As you walk away, you hear under his breath to Catalina. He goes, "They'll make a very nice general." And you guys can carry on out the door. As you open the door, you get hit with like a gust of wind that kind of gives you that epic hair look, as your hair blows in the wind, as if you've just triumphantly, sealed your first contract that's going to get you on some path towards what you're looking for. There is a whisk of this wind, and it flows up towards Mary Reach. And in Mary Reach, we see 2 children arguing about the rules of a made-up game. One is a boy, the sandy-colored hair, young, unkept, matches the conditions of his clothes, to be honest. And the other is a younger, smaller girl, even smaller but similar in appearance. And both of them siblings have done an excellent job of entertaining themselves while their mother and father perform in an open hall nearby. The boy says, "You can't do that. That's not how it works. You can't tag me so quickly. I go first. I get to run at least 10 seconds first. And then you got to chase me." And she's like, "That's not fair." And she smacks his apple out of his hand that he's eating. And he goes, "Leslie, what the hell? That's not fair. You made it all dirty." And he runs out to the street, and he runs past the street, and he grabs this apple. And then he looks up to see gold and marble hall that says the Golden Dragon Theater Hall. And he looks up and he sees something catch his eye. He says, "Leslie, help me up. I think I see something in here." And she kind of like struggles to help him. She goes, "What is it?" And he goes, "No, climb on me. You got to help me up. I'll tell you." And then they start arguing, and then eventually they kind of get on top of each other. Leslie finally makes her complaint to get on top, and she goes, and he goes, "Well, tell me what it is." And she goes, I see a bunch of just boring nobles talking about nothing, right? They got a bunch of fancy foods in there, and there's a cool looking noble. What's he look like? Well, he's got, I don't know, he's like orange. He's not orange. Yes, orange, and he's got like tattoos all over him, right? And as we pan into these 2 children peering in this window as a guard steps forward and bugger off, right? And you guys hear the bugger off in the corner. We see two nobles talking to each other in this circle here. So let's start with the orange man. Matt, go ahead.
Why do you continually bring me to these kind of events?
Are you not enjoying yourself, my friend?
I never enjoy myself. You know this. But you seem to. So there we go.
The food is the drink. What is there not to like?
A woman walks up and she's got a tray and she goes, "More drink, mister. Valgiana?"
Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay, go ahead and describe your character for me, Carl.
Tleps is a coppery-skinned wood elf, very well dressed. You would look at him and think he was a fop, if you had to describe him in a word. 5'7" cheesy grin almost all the time.
Okay. And then Mr. Miles, what does your character look like?
Miles is a huge dude. He has flaming orange hair. He looks like his favorite hobby is probably working out. He has what look like tattoos, but they're lines that spread up his arms that glow softly, actually. Depending on his mood, they actually glow different colors and intensities. He has on really heavy armor, but no weapon or shield or anything to speak of. And he just looks very bored / a little angry as he also takes a glass from the gal and just kind of downs it in one and puts it back.
Okay, Mr. Incendiar, is there anything else that you would like from the bar?
Another would be good.
All right,
Just
another
one.
Okay. And
in a bigger glass. Thank you.
Monsieur Teleps, is there anything else?
This was wonderful, thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay. And she carries on her way. As she walks past the bar, you see descending upon the stairs is the herald, and behind the herald at the top of the stairs is a young human noble dressed in deep blues. And he starts to descend, and you hear the herald shout, "Behold, the Ataturks bring Benjamin to the stairs, and he is now gracing us with his kind presence. All behold and say hello, greetings." And then you hear the traditional greetings from all the nobles in the hall, and he descends down, and then behind him are two women that are dressed in like fancy blue dresses of like slender cut. They look, I mean, they're not sisters, but you get the gist that he is a type that he likes, and it looks like that, right? And they have long blonde hair, and they have blue eyes, and they have soft tan skin, and they're walking down, and he has been doing this for the past decade that you know him. And he descends the stairs in his blues, and he's got his small wizard pen displayed on his collar that he's graduated from the school in. And he starts to grace down and, chat and meander. He looks like he's making his way to you for a few minutes, but he's trying to say hello to everybody before he gets to you two.
Before he gets to us, real quick, just want to say thanks to Camille for the 300 bits. Really fond of Lily's Winkle and Dingle line. Thank you, Camille. But,
so is this an Ataturk party?
No, this is just a hall gathering for middle class nobles, in the sense of in the whole noble hierarchy you'd be middle-esque nobles. And he is conveniently always late, like he tends to be. He wants everybody to hear his name.
He's always late, just like he always loses a fight. Yeah.
That guy really sucks.
Pretty much. So what? No. So yes, Benjamin's an ass. But what are you trying to get out of here today, Teleps? What's the game today? Who are we scoring points with?
We are here just to be seen and to see. This is, the games that we play. You know this by now.
Just once. I just want someone to shoot a poison dart at you, or just like drop from the ceiling and try to stab you in the face repeatedly. That's just. There's not enough alcohol. Okay, where's the mate?
That would be decidedly suboptimal. I think I would prefer this not happen.
Or you'd be fine. It would just be a delightful break from these things that you keep bringing me to. You tell your sister that I'd come to this, right? Like you tell her that I'm doing a good job, right?
We talk from time to time, and yes, your name comes up. Yes, sure. Yes.
Has she had any issues with pirates, like that she needs some help with? Because this is all good, but maybe she needs some help. That wouldn't be so bad.
She has not told me that she has needs of your services. However, if she were to tell me this, I would absolutely tell you right away.
Okay. Great. Just great.
It is great, isn't it? Oh, goodness. Cindy, Tellytale, how is it going? It's good to see you, my friends. As Jonathan whisks his way almost like a courted air and kind of approaches you with, one on each arm and says, oh, goodness. This is Lucille, and this is Elena, right? It's Elena. Oh, Elena, right? Elena. You know how my mother and my father both, they keep bothering about getting married, but... oh, it's just not enough time in the day. So, how are you doing, my good friends? Are you, busy still wearing the colors? Are you going to wear blue anytime soon, Tellytale? Blue's in season right now, right?
Is that so? I had not heard this. Thank you for the tip. It's a very helpful tip.
Oh, no problem. Clearly that he just doesn't understand that he's always a day behind. You can borrow something of mine if you'd like. I think I have something from yesterday. Don't even worry about it. I'll just give it to you for free. I understand that you are on tough times.
Well, and I would say, beautiful pin. I'm glad to see you got your blood, and the kinks out of it from graduation day. It was so severely damaged, I didn't think anyone could possibly fix it. But clearly you've found perhaps the most master smith to possibly restore that pin. So it complements your finery.
Well, I mean, clearly, ladies, what he's trying to get at is that we did have about, if you heard, it was the top 3 graduates from the schools. One, of course, the major school, which was me, clearly. And he tried to 3v1 us. He did pay some people in the crowd to clap for him. It's kind of embarrassing, but, he did lose too, which is even worse. And
well, I do recall it was after I beat you half to death, beat the head guard, and then, a ranger snuck up on me from behind. The bastards.
Well, of course, I had to feign that I tripped and got hurt so that the ranger could, the underbelly could, clip you from the side. It was all part of our master strategy.
Well, very noblesse oblige of you to let a lower class have the claim that day.
Well, clearly, I just, I try to be such a charitable young man, and in lesser families, it's always difficult to get status. So, it was a small loss for me, but such a large win for you, besting the best, the best of, the last decade and years. My scores were beyond calculable. I have done so many impressive things with magic. I'll show you ladies later.
I should say, are Lucille and Elena another group of women you're helping? Tell me, how much are you paying them tonight?
And the girls look totally mortified and like upset because they're like, how dare you? Right? I have never been so insulted in my life. Are these the friends you hang out with? And he's like, oh, dear. Cindy is he's a hothead. You can clearly tell, right? He's just he doesn't like his ego. He's got a bit of an ego. You'll have to understand. He's difficult. He doesn't mean anything by it. I can't believe this. I am from a prominent family. I just can't even believe this. Why do you even talk to these people? Right? And he's like, well, anyways, Cindy, when you're not getting beat up by a bear, and Tellytale's not telling on me for something that I've done wrong, apparently, even though it was clearly a miscommunication in the wizard school for that 6 months. Is there anything else you need, gentlemen? Can I help you with anything before I leave? I've got to go to Duke Ralnir's party, and he's on the 3rd, and he's like 4th in line to be king. So I don't want to miss that. You can stay here with your businessmen. And he begins, before he even answered, to kind of start turning around and walking away.
This guy really sucks. And real quick, another thanks to MK, who was a fan of Incendiar's aggression towards Teleps. And then Zombie Mitch, who's a fan of everyone, who donated 1,000 bits. So thank you both so much.
So go ahead and roll me a perception check, the both of you.
15.
That's right. We roll dice in this game.
No online, just push a button and off it pops. You got to like roll dice and add numbers.
Nope.
Math.
Don't even pretend like that's going to happen. So that's 13 plus 6, 19.
It says the rogue, who's like the skill master. So both of you catch it. You see as a large, burly man covered in red hair that goes down to his back. It's got curls and ringlets. He's got this massive, mighty beard, and he's wearing deep, deep greens and with silver etching on the sides. And his sister is wearing something to match, but she is, a longer red hair that goes down to basically the bottom of her butt. And she's gracefully walking past. You hear "Oof!" as Benjamin topples over and hits the ground, and the ladies come tumbling down on top of him. Some people are kind of chuckling, some people are like, "Oh dear," right? And this burly man turns around and says, "Boy, you best watch where you're going." And he reaches his hand down to pick him up, and he says, "You keep walking like that all the time, you end up tripping over yourself." Right? And he picks him up, and Benjamin yanks his hand away and says, "I can carry myself, thank you." Right? And meeks his way out of the area. What you did catch is that this man clearly tripped Benjamin walking past, and he walks up to the two of you, and he goes, it's the Vardriana boy. Didn't I tell you, sister, that, that's him? And she goes, Gregory, I told you it was him like 5 hours ago when we were standing there in the corner. And he's like, well, it's just been such a long time. Last time I saw him, he was only 8 old. Right? Now, mind you, they are human. And they probably look in their mid-50s. And he looks over and he goes, Teleps, is it you?
Good sir, is it Gregory? You have me at quite a disadvantage. I do not recognize you. However, I am a fan of your work.
Thank you. I mean, sometimes assholes just need to fall on their face. It's just how it works. Yes, it's Gregory and Patricia. We're friends of your father. We're the Greystones.
So does that ring a bell? Yes, the Greystones, of course. How could I have forgotten?
Yes, it's we know we're traveling from Luskin and we saw you and we just thought, I've got to talk to Teleps when we get a chance. He was always such a hoot as a young lad, and now that he's, so much older and more prestigious, right? If you guys look around, this is the man that's gonna get you big money one day. He's got a business mind and his hands are quick with gold. And he looks at you and he looks at your friend and goes, "Who's your friend here?"
Oh, is this, you have not heard of Miles, the Incendiar? He's very famous in this part. He's newly arrived, also from the mainland. But his legends are already growing of his prowess.
Oh, are you the Redmond boys?
That is the family, yes.
Oh, I've heard all about you. You're from Waterdeep, aren't you? You're the ones that have, like, the Genasi blood in you, right?
Well, Baldur's Gate, but that is the tale that goes about, though that's my father's side. You might know better the Farbridge family that has that reputation.
Oh, right. I thought juice was all over. That's amazing. I haven't seen one so close. It's been such a long time. And he goes to shake your hand.
I look at it, and I look at him, and I look at it. It has been a while. Have you met members of my family?
Oh, yeah. I've met, my father was friends with Callum.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, that's great. Is the maid back with the drink yet?
Not yet. She's still making her rounds. Patricia looks over and she says, right, but boys, it's so good to see you again. I mean, it's been such a long time, Teleps. And we've heard about so many great things between your two sisters, and we haven't heard so much about you. You're over here, so far away from the Sword Coast. Running around with your large staff of people and hunting and doing your stuffs. What's going on with you? What big things are you looking for?
Just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You know how it goes.
Well, sure,
Oh,
but
don't be so modest. This man hunted an owl bear. All the other nobles crapped their pants, but not this guy. He only peed himself a little.
goodness gracious, an owl bear? How big was he?
We don't want to boast, You've seen one
It was at
owlbear.
least 9 feet tall, maybe 10. He was ginormous.
A 10-foot owl bear? Was that on his back legs or was that on the front ones?
Just on the front ones. He was 18 hands high at the shoulder.
Goodness
If
gracious.
he was a dozen.
This is amazing. Teleps, how do you kill such things like this?
From far away, obviously.
Really?
Oh no, you're too modest. We were sneaking through the woods. He made a little bit of noise. I might have made a little bit of noise, and the owlbear rushed us. And he, from close combat, fought it. Didn't you, Teleps? It was magnificent.
Perhaps my memory is a little foggy, but that is not exactly how I recall it. However,
Well, it would be foggy. You got hit in the head a couple times real hard.
Oh, goodness gracious. You got telepsy. So you took brutal attacks from an owl bear in the face and you survived with no scars, too. Look at that charming face. Patricia looks over and she touches your chin and she goes, "Oh, you've always been a charming boy." And she's like, well, Telepsy, we've got to hear more of the story. You should come to see us at the theatre. We heard you were courting some young lady, but haven't had quite a luck. I bet you if we give you the big seats, you can probably maybe impress her. What do you think? What do you think, Gregory? And he goes, right. We can give you the big seats. We'll take the smallest seat. We'll get you the big box in the top. And right, you're looking all impressive for your lady friend. Right, here she's the main
God,
actress
Are we
in
going
it.
to watch The Ruinations of Twilight again? He's watched it 8 times. I don't need to see it. Excuse me. Where are my manners? That is such a kind offer. Isn't it? Yeah.
Well,
Great.
I mean, you've got to say we haven't seen it yet. We just got into town yesterday, so if you come with us, we can go see it. Right. You can't come see it with us. You got to see it with us.
I've been a bit. Sleps has been a bit taken aback by all of this, but the mention of the theater and the seats and the hookup and how this might help him with his strategy. His eyes went like that. So yes, his sounds very good. Yes, I would love to accept your very gracious offer. Thank you.
Oh, good, wonderful. Well, if you meet us tonight at about 5:30, we'll get together and we'll see you inside. We'll leave tickets at the front for you if we don't make it in time, so that there's no troubles.
Does the big box come with some complimentary libations, or do we bring our own?
Oh dear Lord, they provide everything for you. The big box has got 2 men that's staffed 24/7 that literally will feed and drink you to your heart's content.
Great. Just great.
You could drink yourself silly if you don't like ruins and what is it? What are Ruinations of Twilight? Was it?
Yes, it is an excellent show the first time. It's a great show the second. By about the seventh,
Well, you can
It's
drink yourself.
great.
You can drink yourself silly then. At least have yourself a good time. Do you got anything else going on this week? Is there anything? I mean, we could get together and do some things together. Right? Maybe we can go on a hunt.
This was
we could
also
hunt
being
another
done?
owl bear.
Oh, owl bears! Pish posh! We gotta hunt something bigger than that if you can kill an owl bear so easily.
Yes. What other big things are there to hunt?
Oh, there's plenty of huge stuff to hunt.
Nothing is outside of Teleps's skill and ability.
So Miles has probably seen this before, but Teleps is rubbing his eyes. Yes, we will do the hunt. We will discuss it maybe at the theater. At intermission, we can discuss these things.
Well, I mean, we hear there's a young green dragon out in the forest to the west. I mean, we can maybe hunt that.
This sounds very, very promising. Yes, I have. Sure, I don't see why not.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. We'll consider it a plan. Come now, we have to go, Patricia. But hey, let them get to themselves. If you guys need anything, you just give me a call. You just send me a message. We'll get together. This is where I stay. And he hands you like a piece of paper with his like where he's staying at, what inn he's staying at.
I take it.
And Patricia says, "All right, well, Telepsy, he gets so excited about the hunts. So, if we'll chat with you later. And we look forward to seeing you. I'm sure it's going to be one hell of an adventure."
I look forward to seeing you this evening.
Okay, then they turn around and they start making their way. They talk to some nobles, and some nobles are shaking hands with them. And you do notice just from the previous perception checks as you're still watching them that the nobles seem kind of just as confused as you are, but they are from Luskin, so this is, they're almost 2,000 miles away of the coast, so, they're like, okay, I don't know you, maybe you do, and, you hear some conversation about you and, like, talking about who you are and how they know you, and they kind of make their way out of the hall. And then the feast is going to last for probably another hour or two, and you have probably... It's lunchtime where you're at right now, so you probably have about 6 solid hours before you've got to do anything. Is there anything else that you guys want to progress in?
So does this mean that I'm working for you all day? Because we had originally talked like 2-3 hours tops.
Please, Miles, this is hourly work. You are, as they said, the booth is going to be lavishly supplied with the complimentary libations. This is agreeable, is it not?
Well, it's better than sitting in my room tonight, I suppose. I don't have anything else planned.
I would like to, if possible, head back to the estate and check in with Madrash to see if he has any idea who the hell the gray stones are.
On the way, I find some kids who aren't like urchins, and I tell them they need to go up to, was it the 5th crest? We know where Benjamin's going. I just want him to go throw mud at him from an alleyway on his way to the next party. And I'll pay him like 3 gold to do it.
Okay, they gladly take your money and it's, oh my goodness, 3 gold! Look at this, this is amazing! And there's 3 of them clearly, right? And they each take, I get one, and they start wrestling for it, right? They're already half dirty when they pick up clumps of mud and they go tearing off through the streets to try to find this man that you've described named Benjamin. Hopefully,
it only works 20% of the time, but it is worth it 100% of the time.
As you guys carry forward, you end up getting to your estate, the Vardriana estate, for the summer home that you guys have here in Crest. It is a cooler winter time, but this is where you kind of make your living mostly. So you're probably talking somewhere in the early winter months. They, you see your staff member there goes, my lord, it's good to see you again. You are covered in street dirt. If you can take off your clothes, I will then get them exchanged for something new.
I start taking my clothes off.
Let the servants know he'll be attending the theater again tonight, so get out the ruffiest, biggest ruffly attire he has. Go find a tailor and make one even bigger than what he already has. It's not big enough.
You're courting the miss again. All right.
He winks.
All right, I'll have something whipped up quickly. How was your event? Did you make any good business propositions? Your father will be very upset if you find yourself slacking off so much.
Absolutely, we are very successful at these events. Things are in the works. Handshakes were made. Speaking of which, do we know a family from the mainland known by the surname Greystone?
Not that I recall, but I mean, maybe a lesser family. Where were they from? Where did you say they were from?
They are humans. They are humans from Luskan.
Luskin. Oh, I can check the records and see if we've made any deals with them in the past. It could have been that we made a few deals with them and that they know, your family. But nothing that I recall prominent.
One of the serving folks. There's probably a bowl there, and I'm washing my hands while we're talking.
Okay. He says, and he goes about his day. You guys are cleaning. And later he comes back and says, "Sir, I couldn't find anything of records of them, but like I said, it could just be some small business deal we had or something. Your father wasn't the best of record keepers till I showed up, so it could be that he just didn't have something on them, and your father, a lot of people wish to know your father, but don't know him well. A lot of people call him friend when he's more an acquaintance, but so it could be one of those scenarios where they're trying to get close. I'd keep an eye out, but I wouldn't be too alarmed."
Thank you, Midrash. I appreciate your candor.
Oh, that's certainly, my lord. If you, as always, you can go to your theater and I'll keep the state running.
Very good. He slaps him on the shoulder.
All right. Master Vadriana, then it's getting close to the evening where you're supposed to arrive. I would head to the theater if I were you.
Is the carriage ready?
It is out front, sir.
Very well. Have a good evening.
It's the good carriage, right? Because again, his previous attempts at going to the theater haven't worked out. Bigger ruffles, bigger carriage, bigger horses.
It's the finest carriage the Vadriana's own, and it doesn't help that he's got that mangy mutt running around all the time behind him, and you hear as you your dog kind of running around, behind you. It's trained, but it's still excitable.
You should try bringing him. He's the only thing you haven't brought to the theater yet. You should bring Fletch. It would be different.
Certainly, I know that there are, a type are very fond of these small creatures, but I do not believe it is appropriate for the theater. No, you may not come. You stay behind, Fletch.
Fletch looks sad. His ears go somber, and he kind of follows you to as far as the door if he can, and pushes the threshold of the door just a little bit, and gives that small soft whine, boo, boo, as he wants to, get in the carriage with you.
I would bet you, but I have already cleaned and changed.
He sniffs and snorts and trots away, right? And you guys carry on to the carriage. As you pass through the streets, you get back to the 6th, in which you go to the Blue Orchid Theater, and it is a very, very illustriously gorgeous theater. And your mistress is, of course, the lead in the show. The Ruinations of Twilight is, as both of you well know, the classic scene of the destruction of Shardazar and the rebuilding of Shardazar. And I'm pretty sure Incendiar could probably recite the whole damn thing now when he's not asleep. And you see, as you get out of the carriage and you go to the front where you collect the tickets, you're collecting 2 tickets, and there are 2 women standing in front of you. Well, one looks like a woman until she turns around, and then she's 6'2", and you realize that she's actually a guy. And then you realize, ASMR could be, Celestials are always different. So it's not the first time you've seen an ASMR, but it could be very rare. And then you also see for the first time, besides the queen, who is a horned elf, because she is half dragonborn, half elf, you see this horned elven woman. It almost looked like the queen from behind, and then she turns around and you're like, okay, that's definitely not the queen. Queen doesn't have tattoos. But she's turning in her tickets to basically for her box.
I've never been to one of these before.
I don't know if I've been to one of them before.
I've been to many of these before.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, did I say that aloud? My apologies.
What are you apologizing for? Talking out loud? Isn't that what people normally do?
Yes.
I lean over to Boss and I'm like, I don't know who these people are.
I don't think you're supposed to.
Hey, you meeting my boss for the first time, you gotta kiss her hand.
Well, Teleps, you heard the lady?
Oh, how rude of me, and I take the hand, and the lips Veridariana.
Vitriskate.
Pleasure is mine.
It is.
This is my friend and colleague, Miles.
I put out my hand too.
I wiggle it.
I wiggle it back.
So, Fop, what brings you here?
Oh, but we did not get your names.
Oh, I'm Crisis.
An introduction goes both ways.
Crises.
Crises.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Crisis.
You too, Fop. Like your outfit.
Sorry, it was Teleps. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yes, and my friend was saying that you are going to love this production. The actress, she is magnificent. You will laugh, you will cry. It will be a once in a lifetime experience. I promise it.
When he says,
or an 8 times in a lifetime experience. Depends how often you want to come back.
when he says you will laugh, you will cry, I kind of scrunch my face and then I look over at Crises and.
I don't laugh or cry.
Well, this
Ever.
might be the night.
We'll see, I guess. We're just here to get, what was it, 5,000 platinum? Something like that.
Well,
Really?
That is a handsome sum.
Yeah, you know Winkle and Dingle, they kind of dress all foofy like you.
I cannot say these names. They do not ring a bell.
Oh, I know Winkle and Dinkle very well, and we're here to pick up the 5,000 platinum as well.
No, you're not. We're not idiots.
Oh,
Good try there, hot stuff.
well,
This is very funny. Did you see what she did there? That was good.
doesn't happen often. It's pretty good.
I don't
was-
even know what I did, but
It
what
was-
are you all here for then? To see the laughing and the crying, or to do some laughing and crying?
Yes, I love
Depends
the
on the
theater.
day.
And this is one of the best theaters and one of the best productions of this wonderful play, and a wonderful actress leading the cast. You could not find yourself in a better position than this evening.
I'm like clearly not listening anymore at this point. I'm just like looking around for Winkle and Dinkle.
Tickets, please.
Boss, you got him.
You take
I
your
had him
tickets. Okay. And you two next.
We should have 2 tickets under Teleps Dariana.
Perhaps
Yes.
under Greystone.
Oh, right, Greystones. Right. They left 2 tickets here for you. They said, look for the orange guy, so you must be the orange guy then.
Are there any others?
Well, there's a few, but nothing like you. Well, then, thank you. They hand back like the pieces of ticket stubs that you guys can keep, and they say, all right, if you take them to the, the seaters, they'll take you up to your boxes. You two are here, and then you two are the box right next to them. So, please enjoy.
Sure.
Oh, you have boxes too. Very nice.
Your first time to a theater ever, you're not really interested, and you have a lavish box. You must be nobility, because only they spend their money so.
I look at Boss and I'm like,
In a way,
yeah. Winkle and Dinkle, like I said, they're all foofy like you over there, Fop. So they like to shell out some of the extra shiny stuff for the extra shiny stuff.
aptly put.
Do Winkle and Dinkle go by any other names?
Probably. I'm still looking for them. Do I see them yet?
Everybody inside the play is starting. As
All right.
the seaters kind of bring you in.
Well, best of luck with your task. I have
You too, hot
some
stuff.
serious streaking to get to.
You guys, the Seekers take you guys both up. Obviously, it's one of those awkward moments where you're not talking, but you're staring at each other as you're walking past, as you're
And you walk
following
the
each
same
other.
direction and you don't split when you think you will. I was like,
Yeah,
oh gosh.
yeah. So, and finally, they get taken to the first booth. The Crises and Vitrascape get taken to the first booth, and then you two gentlemen get taken to the first booth, which is the like nicest in the far right corner and closest to the stage. And there are two men there that are already pouring drinks, and they said, "No, the Stonehearts, or the Greystones said that here's your drinks," and they hand 2 drinks to Incendiar, and then 1 drink to Leps, and for the ladies, and well, I guess Crises and Miss Vitrascape, they hand you guys drinks, and they say,
I'm not paying you.
Right, you don't. It doesn't work. Okay.
You will give us a drink, and we will give you nothing in return. And then you will give us another drink, and we will give you nothing in return.
Yeah.
Those are the terms of our agreement.
Everything's free here tonight for
Great.
not from us.
Amazing.
Okay. They did warn us about this. Okay. So please take a seat and watch the show. Right. And as you all take a seat and get yourself comfortable, the red curtains open up, the gold leaf or the gold edging scrolls past the top, and the beginning of Ruination and Twilight begins. A fair maiden steps out in all of her glory in a like almost a see-through blue dress, and proceeds to sing a beautiful ballad of how the Fey realm and Charizard is, a promise of the world, and that, it is a hope and beacon to everybody. And at the very end of her ballad comes this hard, rough, catastrophic ending where somebody rides by and slays her on a mechanical fake horse, and then there's basically a huge sacking of the city. There's a large orchestra and an opera song that takes place where she's basically monologuing her loss and her death, about how she's now seeing the light, and that Corlon is coming closer to pick her up. And they start to digress into the destruction, and there's the heavier orchestra of the destruction of Charizard and the sacking of it for the first age. And as it continues to progress, you see that people are weeping and crying, and then there's sections where there's laughter, and then finally towards the end, this is the big section where Teleps's character gets to see his beautiful maiden sing a song, and she's going to sing it usually towards the box that he's never got to sit in before, and where she talks about hope and love, and how she'll find her love in the future, and that destiny will promise her what she deserves, and righteousness for the destruction that was sown between foreign peoples. And
as she's singing and looks into the box and sees that unexpectedly Teleps is in that box, I want to look really close to see if she keeps looking this way, or if she uncharacteristically, because I know the play really well, changes where she's looking.
You see a glimmer of a difference, and is that she's kind of her eyes widened differently than she normally does, where she's just that look of what the hell is he doing in that box, right? As confusion, not excitement, really. As if she thinks maybe he's taken a huge sum of money just to try to impress her even more, which is going to piss her off in the long run anyways. So
she's in fine forms tonight. She hits that high C, just...
And then something for the two of you changes. You see 2 people step out onto the play. It is a very slim and tender young man that is beyond beautiful. He's elven in appearance, and he starts to sing alongside her. But this is not part of what you've seen before. You see that everybody's registering in the crowd. All 4 of you give me a perception check with advantage, because you are very intently looking at everything going on.
16.
15.
14.
16, 15, 14.
The 10, 18 plus 6, 24.
24. Okay. So everybody kind of catches it. Looks like everybody got higher than, and Cindy are still staring at, the maiden who's shocked. Everybody else.
This alcohol needs to be refilled.
Right.
Give me some more.
Everybody else starts to notice that something's weird about this scene because what's being sung doesn't match up with the response of the crowd. As she starts to crescendo and come back down, the crowd's all uplifted and excited, but you can tell that her part of the song seems to be what the crowd's registering with. The two people that are singing are not, and their lyrics drop down and then they go into a monologue while she's still singing, but you don't hear her voice. And this man and this woman both stand to her right, one to her right and one to her left, look out to the crowd and they say, out of all things that come and that will be, right, there is moments that we can't define, whiteness in a tapestry of fate that we can't see. These are the things that interest me in him. These are the things that we want to discover. Our entire purpose, from the ruinations of twilight and all larger events of the world, are that there are things that are not supposed to be where they're at. And uniquely, you are all not supposed to be here. We don't know why, but we know where you're supposed to be, right? And what's so interesting about that is that you're all not here like you should. So we're going to correct that this evening. And with a wave of their hand, you all wake up freezing cold in the snow in different clothes. And then yet again, you see the two of them standing above you, different people now, but you can tell that same demeanor. And they're going to say, oh dear, that wasn't supposed to happen. And they wave their hands over you again. And then you guys basically pass out again. Your memory goes blank. Trying to figure out why you're so cold, dressed awkwardly. You did hear the soft version of a bark in the background and the neigh of a horse. And then you did hear some kind of screech and squeal. And then you heard footprints in the snow. As you guys start to see this blacked out memory, you guys feel like you've heard stuff, but you don't remember seeing anything. You hear the hoof prints and cart motions. You hear magic spells, and you hear an array of different shifts and tones and conversations. You hear each other speaking, but none of you actually see any of this in these memories and fades that you are having while you're sleeping. And that is where we'll pick up next week.
Cliffhangers, so necessary, but I hate them.
Well,
Okay.
thank you guys. You guys are wonderful. I do want to say that to our people that are watching and viewers are watching, thank you. I hope you enjoyed. We appreciate you as always. And thank you for everything that you guys do and just kind of watching us play. It kind of gives us kind of an excitement and reason to do so. So we look forward to hopefully seeing you next week as the Tavern Bard tells you the next night's tale. Carl, is there anything else you wanna add to this?
Well, before we sign out and say goodbye for everyone, Camille, who runs the channel, was so awesome tonight and gave us a giveaway. And it looks like the giveaway has been decided, and Than won the hoodie. Congrats, Than.
Woo.
Than Rand, woo!
Woo.
I'm Carl. I was playing Teleps. You can find me on this channel also on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. Central to 1 p.m. Playing in another game. Casey and I play that game together as well. You can also find us Friday nights over on Sabrick's channel where we're in another campaign doing a Planescape game. And those are at 7 o'clock Central. And that's me.
Lily, Matt, Casey?
Hi, I'm Lily. I was playing Crises, the Fallen Azamar fighter. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Just a Little Nerd. And I also DM Fems and Friends stream on Twitch called Roll for Damage. That's like damage with an E. And we're on Twitch and YouTube, kind of on hiatus right now, but we do stuff and you can check us out. And I do a lot of weird voices in a lot of different things all over the place. And the best way to find out where all of those weird voices are through my Instagram and Twitter. So follow me and thank you for watching.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
KCH on the social medias. And like Carl said, you can find me in all those places. Another stream here on O4A and also over at Zavrik's channel. Okay, done.
And I'm Matthew, and you can find me at MatthewKenRBM on Twitter. And otherwise, find me here on this channel every Wednesday night.
And as always, I'm your humble host and honored DM, Callan McHale. You can find me at Callan McHale. I'm also the positive DM on Discord and in chat. So feel free to reach out if you guys ever want to ask questions or just, are interested in anything else added to the channel. Appreciate your time, everybody, and, have a wonderful evening.
And a Happy New Year!
And a Happy New Year! Woo! Double crits.
Good night, everyone. If you want to stay tuned until after the credits, we are going to raid our other DM's stream. Katie Chaotic, or Quixotic, was playing a game, may still be playing a game, but we're going to raid her right after the credits.
Woo!
And we are out.
Woohoo!
We did
So.
streamings.
We did the things.
Yay!
So post session, how did you guys like it? I will start by saying I thought your guys' interactions between each other were beyond hilarious, and the